Hello, it's me again. Um, and I'm here just basically to introduce what's going to happen. I'm going to go into some channeling and bring through some insights to 2025. Now, I know a lot of people have already done this. They have brought forward their insights via the masters that they connect with. They have brought forth their personal insights, etc., etc. How do I know this? Because my beautiful wife lets me know that she's heard this or that, but she doesn't tell me what's going on. She more than likely says, Lou, let's just go into channel and let's just see what's happening. And so it's got to the point now where I've brought through some stuff that has resonated. And I'm now going to go in and bring through the masters and bring through what they have got to say and share about 2025 and beyond. And so now I respectfully will go into space and allow the message to come through. But I have not personally sat down and listened to other people's take on 2025. So this is all unfiltered, in my opinion. And live. And live. All right. See you on the flip side. Greetings. We are the unity of white feather. We return in communication of timelines, of observations. For when we first initiated a viewpoint, a place to put a marker to gauge the journey that mankind is walking. It was the year that you call 2019, and we gave you some dates. We gave you some moments in your timeline to consider, to see what was occurring. And we brought up at that particular time the year of 2025, as well as 2030. And the reason we said this was because 2025 would be the deciding year. It would be the year that was midway. And you would be, as a society, as men, as women, you would be in a position to gauge and to monitor where you were walking in the journey that you call the experience of life. And it is as this particular time comes, we have come into this now moment in your calendar year of the year 2025, though when we observe it from our positioning, we are still in what you would call the 2024. But we will bring forward some insights that this year that you will know as 2025 will begin its paradoxity in, shall we call it, the month of February, the end of February going into March. You will begin to see changes. You will begin to see climaxing. And what do we mean by this? By the intensity of energy beginning to build. It will begin to create within the structure of energy events that may turn what is currently comfortable on its head. There could be a event that would create great trauma, great angst within the people of nations because of killings. And by this, we are not saying that there is all of a sudden going to be an outbreak of mass extermination. No, what we are saying is there is going to be like darts being thrown by a very carefully and crafted plan that is going to create the impact upon the lives of people as if they had been in a trauma of death. Now, there may be physical deaths, but this is not what we are purveying. It is not what we are anticipating. It is a side effect of what may happen. This event is going to ripple into what you would call the April, May time. And this will worldwide, as you would call it, or globally, it will affect through the ripples that what you call your financial world. And it will affect it in both what you know as the fiscal as well as the digital. Digital is going to become more and more popular. And yes, whilst there is great thrust and great desire to hold on to what you call the folding money, you must realize that this folding money is no more, no less than digital. It is what you use to barter. It is what you use to maintain your independence, your slight rebellion against what you consider as being hoisted upon you. And we respect that. We do not consider it a negative. It is just what we are trying to do is to show you that there are moves that are coming in this year that will bring you back to re-evaluate, to re-look at what has been taught, what has been explained as negatory and unnecessary, and yet may very well give you access to a slight variation of freedom of movement within yourselves. So do not look at everything as being evil. Begin to look at what you can see and take and invert it into that which is the use for good. For everything has a purpose. Everything is, shall we say, neutral until it is applied, until it is put into play. And when it is put into play, it is either in your duality world, something for good or something for evil. But yet it is neutral. As case in point, if we were to take this glass that holds the water, the good thing about it, it can quench thirst. A negatory is if, in a fit of emotion, one was to lunge it at someone to do harm or to throw the liquid into the face. That is what you would term harm. Not a very basic scenario, but you get what we're saying. All what is presented to you is not necessarily evil. It is neutral until it is activated in either good or positive, negative, nefarious ways. So 2025 has been called, and we see this through many different voices. There has been a statement that says that 2025 is going to be an intense year. It is going to be a year of mastery. It is going to be a year where there are things that are going to occur that the lesser man is not going to be able to bear the weight of. And in many ways, this is true. This is true because The intent of this year is to whittle away that which is the undecided, that which is unnecessary. It is truly a year of mastery. It is coming back into the very central part of who you are. It is coming back to knowing that you are indeed the living man, the living woman of that which is the divine nature. You must know who you are. You must know the self-mastered being. You must have an awareness of who you consciously are before you can anticipate playing the game that is 2025. For it is a game, and the game is rigged against you. Why do I say this? Because there are those at play that do not want the little man, the little woman to succeed. They will, as the saying goes, they will double down. They will drill down as far and hard and fast as they can to ensure that you are kept in a place of subservient and restless and depressed state of mind. However, there are a great many of you that are listening to this who are already aware that there are changes coming, and you have set in play the various tools for yourself to eradicate from you this depression that is being sent out. Now, when I use this word depression, we are saying, from our point of view here within the very realms of where we sit, what we see is that there are more and more attacks on your consciousness, more and more attacks on your physiology, more and more attacks on your health that are coming, and it is going to be very fear-based. Again, this is a replica of what has been before. And if you have not learned the lesson yet, then the lesson is here to be learned again. If you have learned the lesson, walk fearlessly amongst the vipers, walk fearlessly in your truth, and know that you are in the equilibrium, the unity, the synchronicity of the divine within. For 2025 is going to be a year where you will see all manner of things presented. It is the crucible year. It is the year where the fire is going to be lit from below, if we can call it this, and you are placed within the crucible, and the fire and intensity is going to be increased. Now, the increase of intensity and heat is not one for, shall we say, physical heat and physical fires, but it is emotional, it is practical, it is mental, it is all of the bodies you exist in. It is the bipartisan of your soul and spirit and emotion. It is all the coming together. And so we would say to you that if anything, at the beginning of this time, before the official 2025 begins, remember to know who you are, to clear the vortices, to break out any blockages that are within your vortices, your chakras, and allow yourself to become grounded and aware of what your limits are. Do not pretend that you are able to walk into a den of vipers because you know the words to say if you do not believe the words that you're saying. Learn to believe within yourself the truth of who you are before you step out and you begin to do battle. Now, this is important because many gurus will teach you how to say the mantras, how to do this, how to do that, and the feel-good factor that is in that particular energy at that moment. Many of the teachers of today are very much focused on the quintessential, let's feel good immediately, what we call the throwaway society. If you do not feel good immediately, then it doesn't work. So throw it away. No, now is the time to go back to the very basics of your foundation Why did you start this journey? Why is it that you are calling yourself a light worker, an energy worker, a holder, a grounder? Why is it that you are one who listens to the divine? What is it that draws you out of the mix that you call the nefarious or that world or those or the others or the unawakened? What draws you out of that and into a grouping, into a coagulation of energy that separates you from the rest? Define for yourself what that is and know that that is your key for traversing this year of 2025. Because when you have your anchor, it does not matter what comes against you. You are anchored in the divine. Ensure your gyro, your inner knowing, the voice within, the equilibrium that is the divine nature within you is spinning at all times to keep you in the buoyancy of what is coming. This year, for many, may pass through, and then they will say at the end of the year, they will go, oh, look at all the naysayers. Oh, look at all of those doomsayers. They said this was going to be a pitiful year, but nothing happened to me. And yet we would say to you, if there was nothing that happened to you, are you consciously aware of all that has gone on? And we would say this at every part of the year when you feel in your timeline that there is nothing happening. There is no darkness. There is everything light, 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 light. Everything is flowing. Everything is good. We would say, have you checked your rearview mirror? Have you checked into the very center part of you? And are you truly grounded into all that is? Now, we're not saying this because we want you to experience negatory events in your life. But for growth to occur, there needs to be resistance. There needs to be pressure. There needs to be moments of darkness so that when illumination does come, it is so bright, so clear that there can be no doubt that you have broken out of a pattern. See, 2025 is the year of deciding factors. It is the year that if you look at the correlating zodiac known as the Chinese calendar, where the year truly starts to come into formation, they call this the year of the snake. Now, this one we are speaking through, has had the visions of the symbol of the snake or the dragon that eats its tail, coming back into the cycle, the cyclic motion, the repetitiveness. And this is exactly what 2025 is, shall we say, indicating. Is there going to be repetitive of war? Is there going to be repetitiveness of attacks? Is there going to be repetitiveness of nefarious events that will set in motion and ongoing into the 2026, 2027, 2028 ripple effects where it creates the devastation and then the ongoing outworking of the agendas and the outgoing workings of the, let us just call it, the mechanisms to create fear, create compounded, you must do as we say for your own protection, etc., etc. Or is it going to be what we call a mirror cyclic, which is when it will begin to repeat the age-old truths of what you speak, which takes it back to your own responsibility, the mastery, the year of mastery. Are you bringing back the cyclic of mastery into your life? Are you beginning to watch how you speak not only over your own body, your own life experience, your own health, but are you beginning to watch what you speak over that which is around you, your family, your friends, the town you exist within, and how that has a knock-on effect rippling out the power of the words of life or death that come from your utterance. You see, what is coming in 2025 is a year of great teaching. It is a year where you will look back and you will say, I got it or I missed it. Because the teacher of this year is you. Oh, you may say that there are other things at play, the governments of the nations, the elite, the dark forces, the nefarious agendas, etc., etc. And yes, these are very much active on the chessboard. And they are the pawns and the knights. They are the king, the queen. They are the rooks. They are every piece of the play against you. But you yourself have equal opportunity on the chessboard. You have the exact amount of pawns, the exact amount of rooks and castles, and you have the knights, the king and the queen. You have all of the pieces. Your decision of interaction on the board game is your responsibility, your teaching. So we caution you as you go forth to breathe, to center, to come back into the very depth of knowing that you are within, grounded, grounded into the Tignaya energy, grounded into the divine energy, that before any move you make, you have checked in with yourself, checked in with Tignaya, checked in with the divine, that you have this triune energy of agreement. And if you do not feel that energy of agreement, then you check in with one who is trusted on this realm, be it your life partner, be it your best friend, be it somebody that you trust impeccably. Spiritually speaking, is able to speak into your life without agenda. You check in. You get them to scan your energy. If anything, 2025, the intensity of it should lead you to ensuring that you check your energy on a daily, if not bi-daily basis. Not out of fear, but out of the realization that when an intention is set by higher ranking ethereals, and by this, what we're saying is there are those in the dark forces that are much higher in the ranking, if you want to call it, or the authority of spiritual levels, that will speak out and send darts and trip you up in no matter how or which way they can. And it is up to you to sever any and all attachments that have come upon you without knowledge, without permission, and sometimes with permission. Does this mean that there is no hope? If there are higher energies of dark, nefarious ways to overpower you? No, it does not mean that at all. What it means is now that you are aware, you can begin to sort your own energy. You can begin to create within your own vibration the leveling up, the expansion, the higher vibration. And you do this through the very basic tools that you were taught so long ago. Self-meditation. Sometimes it is wise to turn off the guided meditations and to go in and hear for yourself what is being spoken to you, for your truth, your expansion. Dear ones, it is not a sad year at all. No, if anything, it is a year of activity. Activity that you can choose to either hide from, be fearful of, or create in such a way that it does not influence nor come upon you. There are ways and means being created by many around your accretion disk that they are setting up in order to establish, tools, keys, and many other things, teachings that will assist the common man, the common woman, the living souls to walk free. But it has to come from within. No longer should you be so gullible as to believe that the government has everything best for you, that the council has everything best for you. These are cop-outs. And why do we say this? Because as this goes forward, they will start taking more and more and more from you because you do not question, you do not state, no matter what nation you are in, you do not query why. Where is the original agreement? Where does it give you the authority to use my life, my force, as if it were your own? And we have spoken about this many, many times, that you are indeed great manifestors of energy. You are creator beings. It is the life force within you that creates all that is coming. And so this again is mastery. Mastery over your own life, mastery over your own domain. And your domain could be your very piece of ground that your domicile is upon. That is your castle, that is your domain. Learn to run it in peace, in freedom, in honesty, in an integrity. But question what is placed upon you and the yokes that have been placed upon you. Question where do they come from and why? Because these yokes in this coming year will come more and more subtly, more and more fear-based. And those of you who do not know how to question, those of you who do not know how to investigate, will take these yokes because you do not know how else to survive. And it is our deepest, deepest wish that you go inward, inward into your own true center. That 2025, whilst it may be a year of warfare, spiritual warfare, and potentially physical warfare, but mainly spiritual, that this year will be a year that you choose to win over your own demons. Because this year is going to be a year of clearing, of removing the blocks, so that when you come to the middle of the year, April, May, June, as you go through this and you go through the calamity that is potentially sitting in there over the finances, and you prepare for that event, that you are in your own means taking care of you and yours. If you do not know how, then seek advice. Reach out to people that you trust, not these, but wait, there is more snakes oil sellers that you can get on the various platforms. But find people you trust and ask them, what do they do? How have they prepared? It is time to look beyond just tomorrow, today. Yes, today is the moment of the present. We need to live in each and every present moment. For in the present moment is our past and our present and our future present. It is how we are creating it. We should not jump so far into the future that we are fearful of walking down it. But we do need to jump into the future to look, to observe, to see the potentials that we may come and return into the present day, into the present moment, into the present hour, the present breath, and know how we will project our energy into those moments to short circuit anything that would come against us. So it is living today in the most equitable and the most finite and the most glorious manner, but preparing for every event that is to come. Be prepared. As they say, be as gentle as doves and as wise as serpents. And serpents are not and should not always be looked upon as evil entities. In more truth, there are some winged beings that present as light, as angels. They are the ones to be wary of, that appear and give you such good news and such good love washes, love bombing you, until such time as you are so totally enamored with them that you would trust them completely, and then they reveal their true nature. But by that time, you are so invested in them and these love washes that they give you that you cannot extradite yourself out of fear that you will no longer feel loved. And they present themselves in many ways. They present themselves in human form, digital form, energetic form, mental, emotional. And this is why you need to consistently, daily clear your energy. Because 2025 requires of you to be mastered in your own self, so that you are able to identify for your truth, not my truth, not the truth that we say that you should have. No, no, no. It must be your truth. And as you begin to resonate, and as you begin to see the ripples rippling out, you will begin to see that as you go through and come out of June, July, and you head down towards November, you will begin to see another looping. And you'll go, but this seems to be a repeat again of what we just experienced it. And that is your clue that you are still in the cyclic. And you can change the cycle at any time. Because if you are able to observe the ripples, use the ripples of energy to build you, not to deplete you. If you recognize you are in a cyclic motion, that you have been caught up in the cycle that is occurring at that given time, step back, look at it. Do I need to repeat the cycle? No, I don't. How can I improve my protection? How can I improve my knowledge? How can I improve my well-being, my perception, my intuition? And you start to look at the spiritual aspect of who you are in the meditative way, in the quiet way. And you come back to the synchronicity. You come back to the singularity that is within you. Now, the singularity is when you take all 7 of the chakras or the 7 vortices and you collapse them into a single vortice that sits from the high heart to the crown. It covers you in the top region, like a halo, like an aura. It is everything from the lower regions and it is everything from the higher regions. And it is now swirling, energetically blended, cleared. And it works in a synchronistic way of connecting you in that which is the toroidal energy, as well as the vibration of truth, the clarity of mind, and the divine intervention of the high heart and the God spark. Because as living men and women, you need to retake back that which is your domain. Your domain is mankind. It is not the color of man. For too long, they have emphasized that you are colored as a man, colored as a woman. To be of mankind means that you are of one of the most intelligent species on this planet. To be human is to be a subspecies of the intelligent species. So you choose what it is that you want to do. Because in the finding of yourself and the true vibration of the energy of the words you speak, you find the vibration of your platform of mastery. Because when you are in mastery and events occur, like there will be a glitch in the financial come June, probably in May, starting in May, you will feel the effects in April. You will know that it's going to happen in April and May, and in June, you will have felt the effects. And when this happens, if you are out of mastery, when you are allowing the energies of all that are around you to toss you to and fro, even though you're a strong being, or even though you're a Lyran and you're a Palladian and you're an Arcturian and you're a this and you're a that, and you're a starseed, if you are not grounded in the truth of who you are, which is this is a truth. You may be of star seed, but you are living on a plane that you may not be of, you just happen to be in it. And if you cannot differentiate the game set rules, it already has you in its grip, and you are being more of this world than in it. You can be a star seed and just passing by. You're passing through, utilizing every trick of the trade to establish your domain, your truth, your empowerment, your way of living, which is not rebellious, it is way of peace. Stop resisting what is out there. Acknowledge it. Yes, it's there. Does it affect me? No, I'm just going to move. I'm going to live in peace. Because what you resist persists. And if you resist this coming year of intensity and change, it will break you. A true master will look at what is coming towards him. Look at it. And realize that by having a rigid spine, they will break. So what does the master do? It embraces the change, feels it. How can I grow from this? What do I let go and just pass through? What do I utilize? What do I take that was meant to break me? And how do I use it to grow me? And you realize, of course, mastered ones, that in the growth, there is breaking. There is release. There is letting go so that you may grow. Just like a seed has to break its kernel. Then it has to push through the soil. It has to break into the surface of the soil into the light. Once it is in the light, it has to yet again continue breaking through the limitations of height, ensuring that it has enough sap, enough fluid in its stem, in its branches, in its leaves to sustain its growth pattern. It has to take what is around it, be it cloudy, be it sun, be it rain, be it dryness. It has to use all of these things, that everything in its propensity is correct and mannered and is able to assist it in its full growth, but can be overemphasized. There can be too much rain, too much sun, too much dryness, too much cloudiness. And that plant has to learn to adapt and use what is there to enable it to still grow. And that is mastery. You are a plant. You call yourselves star seeds. Then begin to grow as a star seed. Use what is here and be mastered. 2025 is going to take you into 2026. 2025 is going to have events coming through it as early as February and March. There may be, and I have said this to Louise, I have said this to Heather, and we are not going to put it in etched stone, but there could be a potential event aimed at not just the American president, but at other high-ranking personnel as well. That is going to ripple out. That will cause the stone ripple for the financial event in April, May, and June. And I use April, May, and June because although it is more than likely going to happen mid-May, you will see the tremors in April, and you will still feel the tremors in June. After that, there will be yet another event further on down the year. And this is why we say this year will feel as if you are in a warfare. It is the year of the snake, and the year of the snake is traditionally a warfare year. And yes, there may be men and women who are called to go to the front. They are called to go to another nation and do battle. Is it their duty? Is it their honor? Is it their integrity? Only they have the right to choose that. And if they do, then honor them. Do not disrespect them. When you disrespect a man or woman, you take their life force from them. You rip it and you cut it, and they bleed energetically. So encourage those that they may return unharmed. This is a year of unprecedented change. It is what we said, the year of 2025 would be the year of choice. The choosing of which way you go. Because from here, the next 4 years leading you into 2030, this is where a lot of the foundation you will see vast changes in how businesses are done. People that you thought you could trust, now you may begin to question. It is, as they say, what it is at one level. But on another level, it is a year that you can master, that you can run with. You do not have to fear this year. You do not have to fear the intensity. You do not have to stand in the shadows. You can rise. And you can take the tail in your mouth as the snake, as the lizard, as the dragon. And you can see how by repeating certain things in your life in a cyclic manner can empower you and reveal the weak points, that you can clear them out. Do battle with your own soul. Make war with your own truth so that you may find in the crucible the pure gold, the pure silver, and allow yourself to rise in the vibration of truth. Allow yourself to be deeply connected to your own foundation of mastery. This is a year where things will change for you. The beginnings and the continuations of what has already been inserted over the last 6 months. And while they've been busy detracting your attention with games and the gladiator games and the colosseums, while they've been distracting you with events such as politicians and fires, while they've been detracting their words quietly, blanking them out, replacing them away, so that when you reread structures, when you reread things, your brain will tell you something's not quite right, but it's there in black and white, so you believe it. It's time to take cognizance over your own lives. What is it that you are allowing to come in? Don't glibly go into this new energy of the year that is coming as if it is simply just another year. Set some more goals, do some more things, fail those goals, set more goals. Beat yourself up because you didn't get the first goals. Oh, make new goals. This is not that type of repetition. Perhaps it is even best that you drop these so-called goal settings, because all they do is keep you in a mindset of failure. Unless you're of the few that can truly set a goal and maintain it at high impact. So as we say, allow yourself to be moving with that which is the energy, the flow that comes not from just some universal thing, but it comes from a divine source. And there is a divine being, an oversoul, a greater than great power over you. But it is not controlling. It works in conjunction with you because that is its heart. You are in a place where you can alter your history. You can alter your place of being. But are you going to do it? Because what happens in this year lays the foundation for 2026 to 2030. And what we see is, as we always do, we see two paths. And one path is going to be a path that leads you all into a place of, shall we say, collared welfare. And another is that there is, for those who want to be looked after, collared welfare, and others who break the collars and the chains and live as free men and free women. And yet it's not as if they have to leave where they live in a city or a town or the countryside. They don't have to leave their domicile. They live amongst the vipers. They live amongst the enemy, so to speak, but in freedom, accessing all and every part of their free lives as free men and free women. But they have earned that right because they have researched. And they haven't followed blindly down paths that say, pay us this and you can have that. They've researched and researched and researched. And they have found their own truths, their own ways through what it is to be a free man and a free woman. What does it mean? We ask that you take the time in this coming experience of life and the cycle that you will go through and decide for yourself what it is to be free versus what it is to be told what to do, how to live, what you should eat, what you should drink. And we are back. This is the time to define for yourself in the year of 2025. Is it going to be a year of war, a year of intensity to the point where you will buckle under the weight of that intensity? Or is it a year that you will look at all of the things, the cyclic, the intensity, the breakdowns, the events that are laid out this year, and in wisdom say, I will use this for my self-mastery. I will invert what I can invert. I will look at what needs to be looked at. I will heal what needs to be healed. Because if you do this, my friends, you are on your way to being higher in vibration, lifting yourself up. And it is a good life, a good experience to enjoy. Remember, you do not have to comply to what is laid out in front of you. If you do not agree with what is happening, reset your day. Look at what it is that you are being asked to conjoin your energy to. And it's never too late to say no. It's never too late to defect to the light side. Oh, I'm making some jokes to lighten this up a little. But 2025 is a year, in our opinion, that yes, there is intensity, yes, there is events, but it is a year that excites us because it is the year of change. It is the deciding year. And we wait to see what you choose, how you play out your chessboard, how you play out what is happening for your mastery, for yourself, and for those that you are connected with in peace and in love. So we are White Feather. And we are excited for what is about to come through. Enjoy this experience of life. Do not fear it. Enjoy the cyclic motion. Do not fear it. Use the warfare energy of the snake for your own lives. Empower them. Empower your lives in those areas that perhaps are not strong. Make them stronger. Use the energies that are provided. Use it. And find your way. Find your way through in peace. We are White Feather, and we leave you with this message. Thank you.